How's it going, guys? Bring Your Platoon here, and welcome back to another great game in World of Tanks Xbox One Edition. Today I'll be playing in the M4A3E8, otherwise known as the Easy 8 Sherman medium tank that is Tier 6 and on the American line. Let's go down the gun statistics first, because that is pretty much all this tank is. 76mm gun. It fires 18 rounds a minute base. You get 128 average pen for your AP round and 177 millimeters of pen for your premium APCR rounds, and then a whole whopping 38 millimeters of pen for your high explosive rounds, dealing 185 instead of the standard 115 that you get for the AP and premium rounds. Or, yeah, the AP and APCR rounds. The dispersion slash accuracy this thing is not that great at .40. I know, it sounds terrible, but the DPM actually does make up for it, despite it not having that accurate of a gun. The aim time is 2.3, also doesn't sound that great, but I have optics, vertical stabilizer, and a gun ram around this thing. If you want to take off the vertical stabilizer and just put on everything you can do to max out your DPM, the rammer, vents, and a consumable, I wouldn't really recommend it, just because even in your own tiered matchup, there are other tier 6 tanks that you're going to need premium ammunition to pen, like the OI or the Churchill 7? Yeah, I think that's it. And just, yeah, heavier armored tanks need premium ammunition to be penned, or need to be shot at with premium ammunition to be penned. And it's a shame. I don't know what this Hellcat's doing, or why he hasn't repaired anything yet, but he's dead now. So that's free damage for me. That's a free, what is it, 600 health, or 350, I think? I don't really know. But that was cool. Let's see. Let's not get sidetracked. It has 370 view range. It has a fire chance of 20%, which means every 1 in 5 shots will set you on fire in the engine. It's got 12 degrees of gun depression, which is phenomenal. 25 degrees of gun elevation. It's very mobile. It's got a 48 kilometers an hour top speed and 18 kilometers an hour reverse speed. It's a good tank. It just doesn't have a lot of armor, like, flat on the turret, including the mantlet. Well, okay, the mantlet gets 180 millimeters of protection on it, and everything else about the turret is just 90 to 63 millimeters thick, and you can be penned reliably in the turret, no problem by anything. But, yep, same story for the chassis. The upper hull is also 81 millimeters thick, roughly, getting worse and worse the lower you go down on the tank. Well, that's not true. The very bottom of the tank is 100 millimeters thick, but yeah, you're not going to be bouncing a lot unless you severely angle around corners, only giving people your upper plate, and even then, if it's not an auto ricochet angle, you're only going up around 130 millimeters of protection. And of course your sides are only 38.1 millimeters thick, so that's unfortunate too. And if you get dicked on by Arty, it's not going to be great, because your roof of both your tank, well, actually, the roof of the chassis is more terrible in the ass end than the front end, but it's still not great. 34.9 in the front of the chassis, and then, for the roof, I mean, and then 12.7 for the ass end, and then the roof for the turret is 25.4. So yeah, Arty can destroy these things very easily, but it's a glass cannon, and its DPM is really the only thing it has going for it. I have the premium ammunition loaded right now, just because the overwhelming sheer numbers, and even this close to people, I get dicked on by RNG just because of the inaccuracy of this gun. But the aiming bloom doesn't really go crazy when you move in this thing, with a vertical stabilizer on at least. So it's good for that. It's good for just keeping on engaging targets, especially when you're with your team and not the only one being shot at. This thing, again, with the terrible armor, does not take shots very well, but it can poke a ridge line and bully the absolute shit out of whatever you're aiming at, if your turret is the only thing showing. Almost hit my tank there. Very good on me for not dying. I already have a decent amount of damage in this thing. What do you need to 3-mark it? Probably 1,700 damage combined or something like that. Let's find out. Tier 6 American. I have to use a different website now because the other Mark of Excellence website doesn't work anymore for whatever reason. It's giving me some sort of weird web night error, whatever that means. Yeah, Easy 8, you need to do... Oh, wow. Not even 1,700. Let's call it 1,300 combined on average per game. So that's not bad at all. I can definitely do that. I already 3-marked the Fury, the Jumbo, and the Thunderbolt, respectively. Might as well do this one too. What's the next one I can do? Probably... no, I don't want to do another Sherman tank. Thanks. But I'll pass. Here's the Thunderbolt, the infinitely better version of this tank. It gets a little bit less DPM, if I'm not mistaken, but it has a hell of a lot more armor and can just bully everything in your own tier, regardless of what you're going up against, unless you get shot in the weak spots or you can't be hull down. But either way, this tank is amazing for DPM, and you're going to want to load up on the skill rounds because facing tier 8s in this thing is a chore. You're going to have to track tier 8s. Hope to God your team knows what their weaknesses are, and it's not great when you're firing a tier 8 with this thing. It just sucks. You can't pen the lower plates of tier 8s with 177 millimeters of God damn it, of penetration for your APCR rounds. It's just no bueno. You can track people in your own tier and circle around them and just keep them permatracked because of the increasingly, well, the ever so amazing DPM that this thing possesses. But all the premiums that I fired in that game, and I only netted myself almost 7,000 silver. But I did do like 3,000 plus combined damage, so that's pretty impressive there. But yeah, it fires fast, doesn't have armor, and use it as such. Don't be dumb, and you'll get a decent, well, good enough results every game to go up in your mark, at least 1,000 damage. So even if you do that badly, you won't go down as much. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.